Did you know the average human attention span is now just 8 seconds, shorter than a goldfish? And for Gen Z, that number is even lower, around 6 seconds. If you struggle to stay focused, you are not alone. In this video, I will introduce to you 3 methods that I personally use that help me to get my focus and my power back, and hopefully will help you too. First, focus on a single task at a time. What do I mean by that? Well, often we think multitasking means we are more productive as we do several things at the same time to do them faster. But that's not the case, because when you multitask, your attention is all over the places. It creates an illusion like you are being productive, you're doing several tasks, but sometimes you end up doing none. Because this email isn't finished, you wrote it but it isn't finished, you try to do this video to edit it, you then try to do math and also do those documents, and then you end up seeing, oh, I haven't done any one of them. So in that case, it's horrible and you aren't being productive. And it turns out that you kind of lie to yourself, that you are going to multitask to do things faster, and you end up in fact doing them longer. So what I do is that if the task is big enough, let's say like making a YouTube video, I divide it into small parts. And then what I do is that I take my time to finish one of the parts and then move on to the second part. I don't start doing all those steps at the same time, which helps me to be more focused and effective with my time and with my focus. Bear with me. The thing is that once you implement all of those 3 things, you will really master focus, because these are the things that I haven't heard from other people saying. So these are the things also that help me. So I don't know, you can try and see yourself, but it works really well for me. So I want to just get it out there. The second thing that I do is physical activity. For some reason, it really helps to decrease amount of stress, thus help you to focus. Because sometimes if you have other problems in your life and you're stressed and you're anxious about certain things, it becomes suddenly difficult to focus on a simple task. Any task that you would do. And then you find yourself, oh my God, I'm thinking of this, I can't do la la la. And what you can do is just simply go for a run for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Or if you find like you don't have time, just sprint around for like a few minutes. And then the thing is that when you sprint, you release endorphins in your body, which is like a happy hormone. Serotonin and other good stuff for you. And then you feel much better, you feel relaxed and refreshed, and then you go with the fresh mind. Actually, this is what I did before my presentation in school. I actually wore a suit, like official clothing, and before my presentation I was running in the campus because I was quite stressed and anxious, and I don't know any other way to deal with stress other than this, like the quick way to de-stress. So for me it was really good. And after that I presented really well, and I wasn't anxious or forgetting my words and things like that. So it was like problem solved like this, just a few minutes of fast sprinting, and then I went up, I presented, and we did a really good job. So if you find yourself actually doing one task at a time, like, okay, I'm following what you're saying, but I still can't do it, maybe, just maybe, try running or sprinting, or if you can go longer for 20, 30 minutes or for 1 hour. I run a lot personally, so for me it's all right to run for 1 hour or more. But if you can't or you don't have time, do it 2 to 5 minutes. I promise you, you will be able to focus better. Just try it out, trust me. Ever find yourself listening to music before you start working? This has been the case for me for a long time. To this day, I listen to music before I get into work. And sometimes it is a huge distraction. So what helps me to focus on a really important task is to turn off the music, put my earplugs here and here, and then put my big headphones up here. And then I isolate myself and I don't hear the external noise, right? Your environment matters a lot when it comes to focus. If you're in a noisy place, or where things are all over the place, and you generally are the type of person who cannot focus really well, or you have ADHD, then it is a must for you to make sure that there isn't anything going on in the background, that if you are at home, windows are closed, they can be open, but the curtain is closed. You have no noise, and you just focus on the work. And I promise you finish all your stuff in 1 to 2 hours. You don't have to spend the whole day to do some kind of simple tasks that you wanted to do with music. So normally it can take you hours to finish a single task because you listen to music, you're constantly distracted by this and that. Take your breaks, but have like dedicated time when you are highly focused. At the end of the video, I have bonus tips for you to do to even further increase your focus. But these 3 that I mentioned are the main ones. When I say your environment matters, I mean external environment, people around, noises, but also the table you're working on. If there are a lot of stuff here and there and you're not a very tidy person, it can be a distraction and your brain gets tired of these things, that things, and then you want to find something. Where is it? It takes so much time to find it, right? But if your table is clean and there are very few things on the table, just the things you need, then it becomes very easy for you to focus, to keep your attention on the task. And also, when you work on your computer, make sure all your tabs are closed. Unnecessary tabs are closed. Sometimes you need to have a lot of tabs, but ultimately you can keep 3 to 4 important tabs that you're working on consistently. The rest, close it. If you use Mac, there's a history. I think in other Windows computers, it's also like history, and you can reopen the same tab, so you will not lose anything. It's worth learning how you can reopen the tabs that were closed than having all of those tabs. Besides, it's bad for your computer, and second, you can't focus on anything because there are tabs there. So now let's get into the sweet parts, the bonus tips you can use to further increase your focus and productivity. Just to get this information out there for the folks that don't know about Pomodoro and time blocking. These are the productivity tips, more on that side. However, I want to send this message that this is also an option to focus on dividing your time by 4 sessions, each session taking 25 minutes and 5-minute break, which would help you to focus on a single task much better. And time blocking. As simple as it is, there are so many videos about time blocking and productivity, but just to get it out there, time blocking means, in simple words, is that from 1 to 2 you will do X task, from 3 to 4 you will do this, and so you divide and you time block. Like, by this time I will do this. But if you don't, for example, schedule, then it's all, oh, this might take this much amount of time and stuff. And they say, if you give 5 hours to clean your room, it will take 5 hours. If you give yourself 10 minutes to clean the room, it will take 10 minutes. So learn about time blocking. And one of the sweetest things, one of the best, easiest tips for focus is coffee plus sugar. Bam! For all those coffee lovers, caffeine plus sugar is a huge bomb. If you have problems with anxiety or jittering or lack of sleep, maybe this is not the best combo. But for everyone else who can handle it and who drinks even 2 cups per day, sometimes I do it, not often, but I drink a cup of coffee with some kind of sweet stuff, and then caffeine plus sugar. It's insane productivity hack. Like, you can literally focus, but unless you have a problem with anxiety or jittering, then this method is not good for you. But otherwise, it's the best way to focus for a while, maybe 2 hours, until you have a sugar crash, potentially. So that's why have your breakfast or main meal and then have coffee plus sugar. This way you will avoid the crash, the dip, right? So you get the advantage of having a lot of energy and focus, and you don't get the drawbacks of having a swing in your mood or feeling down and stuff like that. If you master these hacks, they will do wonders for you in your life. And so if you want to learn more of the stuff that is really useful like this, you can click to the next video.